does change that tax rate a little bit.
It does. Small downward tick, you know, it all adds up. The good news is that, come 2015, you're still approaching your 2010 level, despite that market value homestead exclusion business.
The tax rate's really the only thing that we can control, besides our spending, of course. I mean, this to me is the most important gauge of how well we're doing. If it's flat or if it's whipsawing all over the place. When it's flatter, it just shows that you're making smart decisions out into the future, and you're thinking more strategically about how we're gonna impact. Because even the 115 as a median value, you're gonna get people who have houses that are a lot more, that are gonna get hit more, and those that are gonna be less, that'll be happier, so. I mean, you have to pick one target, but this is what is gonna be applied to all of them, is that tax rate. And for Fillmore County, 80% tax rate is.
Well, who knows what will happen in 2012, because this
Yeah.
market value homestead exclusion, but in 2011, my hometown of Spring Valley is in that 70 to 75 range. Chatfield, well, they're actually partly in homestead, but usually the blended rate's around 60. Preston, I think, is in the 70s range. Mabel's over 100. Harmony is higher than yours. Who am I missing? Rushford Village, of course, is low, but they're basically a township more than.
Don't say that.
No, well, it's, they.
You could edit the tape then.
Yeah, I work for them, but I know they're incorporated in the city, but to compare them to what you do, they don't have to provide the same level of service, so their tax rate is gonna be lower. Who am I missing?
Well, Lanesboro, they're higher, I would
Yeah,
think.
they're in that 70 range. But, you know, when,
Harmony's way high, aren't they?
yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
And Mabel?
Mabel's way higher.
Yeah.
Way higher.
But when the market value homestead exclusion, in fact, I spoke to Jerome from Harmony today, I can't remember what the number was, but his tax rate did the same thing. Cause I just got the tax base figure from the assessor's office 20 minutes before I drove over here.
So it'll be hard for us to compare our rate from one year to the next, but we can compare our rate to other communities, because we're all gonna be in the same boat.
Well,
As
once we
far as
get
what
past-
the rates are doing.
Once we get past this market value homestead
Yeah.
exclusion, now we can really compare. Some cities will be hit harder than others, you know, the higher the residential, you know, if your tax base, if you look at the percentage of your tax base as residential, the higher that is, the worse the hit is on the tax base. Just think of a town that's, let's say you have 1,000 properties in town and 999 of them are residential, and you got one business.
This will
Imagine
apply to some farms, won't it? I mean, will they get homestead credit on some farms? Like in the village, their farmland, how will that affect that?
Yeah, they're
The
single,
portion of it that.
the single family piece of it, yeah,
But the ag's at a different rate.
right, they don't get the exclusion.
that doesn't-
I sort of like this better.
It would be nice if Tri-County Electric was still here. They're not gonna be happy no matter, they're probably very happy now being in the village. Seeing that the village rate is gonna be so much smaller. You know,
The percentage will go up, isn't it?
The same dynamic will happen to them.
Yeah.
Granted, the village has a lower tax rate than yours, but the shift
shift will go.
from
to
village
the-
homestead
that's
to
gonna
village
be
business is gonna be the same.
less cash.
What about the, airport?
What about
Well, how will that be affected?
it? That doesn't pay property tax, that's city owned.
Okay.
City owns
Don't we have to pay anything in lieu?
We pay,
It's in the,
Just on
it's
the-
in the village, isn't
we
it?
pay on just the land that we lease, the farmland that we lease out, but that's ag land.
Yeah, well, there could be a bump there.
And they,
But we get that back in rent from the guy that
And Jack Cadine,
Yeah,
his business, well, is that considered ag or is that considered commercial farming or whatever, commercial?
It doesn't matter, as long as it's not single-family residential.
Okay.
It's not getting the exclusion.
Okay.
So it's, anything that you name that's not single-family is gonna see a shift. You know, apartment buildings, shift.
how will that affect our TIF housing apartments?
It could reduce your increment. Well, what kind of house, is that townhomes?
Yeah, well, it's
Single family?
36 units apartments
It's
up there,
multifamily.
single,
It's multifamily,
Yeah.
yeah, well, then you might see increment rise.
Hmm.
Because, that higher tax rate and they don't get enough market value credit. When you do the TIF report for that district, here's how I'll answer it. Do you show a market value homestead credit revenue on your TIF report?